Buzzbox is a go-go.
Absolutely.
Hello, we're back.
Hello there, everyone. Hello,
He's been travelling.
And he's been gardening.
Both of which are true.
Yes. So it's hello from my good friend Bob.
And it's hello from my good friend Ramon.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? So what are we doing today, Bob?
Well, I think we're going to talk a bit about your travels to Cuba.
Absolutely.
A little bit about a piece of kit.
And not about gardening.
And not much about gardening. Unless,
okay.
Have you come here for the gardening tips? You
it
haven't,
does,
have you?
It does
really?
look rather nice though, with the obelisk at the end. You've got to see this, guys. He's grown this obelisk in his garden, and it's beautifully done.
It's all I post on bloody Facebook.
Yeah, so if you follow him on Facebook or Instagram, you're going to see it. It's worth checking it out.
Oh, it's tragic. No, it's tragic. Old men clipping vegetation. It's sad.
A certain vibe about it.
It's sad. It's bloody sad. I'm still living as if I'm in the draftsman's contract. Remember that film?
No, I don't actually.
Peter Greenaway film from the 80s, I think.
Oh, okay.
Really directed, very British.
Who was
overly styled.
Who starred in it?
Oh.
Nigel Havers?
It wasn't anybody particularly famous.
Right.
No, it wasn't your classic Brideshead posh year. No. But it was set in oh God, now my history's going to suffer.
In a garden like yours?
Probably about 1650 in this
Right.
beautiful ancient red brick mullion windowed country house.
Right.
And all about basically infidelities with the draftsman who was brought in to do some drawings of the property.
So nothing's changed since then?
But it's just an incredibly stylised film, and of course the gardens in it are just like old English country house gardens. They're just beautiful.
Right, and that's where you got your inspiration from.
And that's where I got my inspiration to cut a hedge. Yeah. Now you didn't want to know that because we had to talk about guitars and blues. And
absolutely, yeah. But there's probably a lot of gardeners out there, aren't there?
Do you know? Touche, because they don't want to hear that, and you're probably right. Yeah, yeah. Oh, so in the comments, let's have your gardening tips. Right, come on. Back to the main course.
Back to guitars. Well, what guitars are we holding today, Bob?
Well, we're poshed up today because we're celebrating your return. We got the posh out. Okay, so we've got 58 Les Paul Sunburst.
Yeah.
54 Les Paul Gold Top.
And this has got a beautiful colour to it. I was just admiring the colour. Because they kind of all go, you see some that go a bit greeny, don't they?
This has gone slightly green. So what happens is the finish is brass filings suspended in clear varnish. That's what it is. So if you let any air that's got moisture in, it goes to the brass and it turns the copper component of the brass green. So there's a little ding in the guitar somewhere here, and it's a
We'll
little
do a close-up of that.
green on the edges, right?
Yeah.
And it's very, you can see it's a bit dark here because there's a crack in the finish here. Somebody's been playing it, sweat's got in a little bit, and it's just gone dark. But as gold tops go, it's in pretty great shape.
You know, like you see, like modern guys who spray. Even our friend Darren from Daniel's Guitars. You see the modern guys that spray guitars. They're all like masked up, goggles, everything. Well, back in the early 50s,
Health and safety.
there was no face masks.
No.
They'd be taking fag breaks and smoke. Well, I used to smoke, but they'd be chain smoking.
Well,
fags
in a room full of solvents.
Yeah, and then coming back and spraying. It's amazing. There's actually a film of this. You can see this on Instagram. I saw it yesterday. And they're just spraying this clear coat all over there. And then the women are painting them, and no masks in sight,
no health and safety,
nothing.
But and you know,
and these guys are probably 90 years old now.
Modern, yeah, exactly. Modern wisdom would say they all died of cancer in about 61, but no,
they're still going.
Yeah, they're still going. But the one thing that has been consistent across all is that all the paint guys, unless they're really super specialists, they hate spraying metallic because it clogs the spray nozzle up.
Okay, right.
Even worse with sparkles because you've got great big chunks of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a specialist job.
Interestingly, they do a lot of the finishing stuff when it's still wet. They don't even wait for it to dry, really. They do as much as... Yeah, it's really strange. They kind of paint all the...
Really?
You have to see this video. I want to send you this video.
Well, send us a link and we'll put it up.
Yeah, we'll put it up. And just see, if you see the women, they're kind of doing stuff that you think that they leave it to cure, but they do it straight away.
I mean, one of the things I thought was fascinating was watching them spray Stratocaster bodies at the Fender shop.
Yeah.
So what they do it in a booth, like a desk, right? Probably with an extractor at the back. But they've got this turntable with a thing, and they basically spit roast the body, right? So they can turn it through 360 degrees and 360 degrees. And so they can just spray and they can move it around. And obviously these guys spraying all day, you get pretty good at it, pretty fluent.
Yeah.
And the way they do it is incredible to watch. It's quite beautiful and it's very quick.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then they pick it up by one nail or whatever, hang it up over there to dry.
Oh, it's amazing seeing how these factories are sort of...
But these finishes have lasted the test of time quite well. They're both in pretty good nick.
Yeah, and what do you use to polish the guitars?
Oh, now we're going to make some enemies.
Because you don't use beeswax, do you?
No.
That leaves like a white sort of...
And everyone out there is now going, he uses teacup, don't he? No, I do not use teacup.
Guys, he does not use teacup.
I do not use teacup. Though there was one famous collector in London about 15, 20 years ago who was famous amongst the rest of us for ruining his guitars because he got a guitar and he teacut it within an inch of his life.
What a fool.
Right? So, and the guitars that have been through him have obviously got a bit of a bad rap because they're all a bit...
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But I do find there's one new car product that's really quite good.
Yeah.
Well, actually two. First of all, these new detailing sprays, which are basically a very fine clay in a water suspension. Yeah. And people use them for smoothing out the tiny
so it's water
marks.
based.
Yeah. And probably it's got a nice bit of fragrance in it and a little bit of detergent or something. But basically, what happens with clay, if you use it as a polish, is the clay breaks down. So it starts out being ever so slightly abrasive, and the more you rub it, the less abrasive it becomes. Right. So it progressively turns into a very fine polish. And they use it on cars. All the guys who prep cars, for shows like Ferraris and Mazdas and Bentleys and stuff, they use these sprays. That works really well on guitars. It is not harmful.
I mean, look, the proof's in the pudding because this looks absolutely stunning. And guys, you know,
and it's clean without being over clean. And the other thing is also these new things, these rain resistant sprays. Yeah. What are they called? Ceramic sprays. Yeah. Again, it's a car preparation product, but a tiny dab of ceramic spray on a cloth, not spray, just a dab, and just a light rub over, and it sparkles, absolutely sparkles, and you're not harming the guitar.
And you don't. Bob doesn't only use this on guitars; he also showers with it as well.
I use it on my entire person. Obviously my teeth.
And that's why he has such a beautiful glow with
it. Well, over 2 hours on my teeth every morning. Yeah. Poor old yellow things are going to drop out.
A lot of people think it's a suntan, it's not.
No, it's polish. It's car polish.
It's clay.
That's the secret of gleaming guitars.
Yeah. Bob has spent 74
actually.
74 of the King's money.
I'll put a close up.
74 pounds of the King's money, and he has purchased a nano pedal, which, as he told me, he was showing off to me earlier. He doesn't need any of his amps. He doesn't need any of his effects pedals. He doesn't need any amp switches or anything, because this pedal does the speakers, the amp, the multi effects, everything in one tiny nano pedal. Is that right?
That's the promise.
Right. So
Yeah.
let's hear this. I'm excited.
And I have to say, it's. I'll put a picture of it and so on, a link about it. I have to say, I mean, out of the box, I'll do a proper Rock Bear video about it quite shortly. But out of the box, the presets are truly ghastly. But you go inside it, you blank everything out. Actually, there are some blank patches you can use. You build your own patches up, compare it all the time on and off through an amp. It's incredible, and you know you can get 3 of them in your hand.
And then you can plug this USB-C directly into your laptop and record as an interface.
As an interface.
So let's just...
And I've tried it very quickly through just hit the GarageBand.
Okay.
And it sounds pretty good.
Sounds good. You know, that's going through this great amp here.
And through my hind big knob on clean.
Yep.
And just this little Velton GP5 gadget box.
There you go. No tube screamer needed.
Well, you know, I'm obsessed with miniaturizing all the time.
Yes.
I mean, frankly, this is taking it too far, because the trouble is, it's a brilliant little device, but it's so small, you've got to control it off a phone or something else.
Right.
So it's self-defeatingly small, but for the money, for a bit of fun,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
And where did you buy this from?
From dear old Anderson's.
Anderson's. Online? Like most people do nowadays?
Like most people do nowadays, and it, you know, turned up in about 36 hours.
We're not sponsored by Anderson's, by the way.
No, we are. We are.
We should be.
We're in competition with them
No, we should be
for
sponsored.
viewers.
Yeah, we
But
should
they
be.
like us better.
Yeah.
We kid
quality.
ourselves.
Quality, not quantity.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
So there you go.
There we are. So that's a bit about gadgetry. Should we do something, just a quick vamp, so you can do the tones on that one as well?
Yeah. So this is the 58 plugged into the Trainwreck 20 watt Express amp,
About 30 actually. About
30 watts.
33, yeah.
and no pedals, just one. of the-
Trainwreck clone. It is not a real train wreck.
Yes, but no pedals, dryers.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no pedals, straight
you
in.
know, here we go. 3, 4.
There you go, a few tones, that sounded nice.
Yeah, I mean, just on the bridge, really. I mean, because like, if I'm kind of the 2 projects I do now, the Latin band, obviously, which everything is on the, it's kind of mellow.
Yeah.
Is on the neck. So all the Latin stuff is on the neck, and then the British blues, my new band, which is called Ramon's British Blues Explosion.
Here we go.
And that is all on the bridge pickup when I'm soloing, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, and that would be, I mean, you know, take a leaf out of, not that he's really a British blues man, but I mean, take a leaf out of Robin Ford.
Yes.
Right? Because he plays rhythm on his neck pickup, but most of his lead is on his bridge.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're doing something,
He almost uses this like a pickup, like a drive selector. You know.
I think if you're doing something, for example, if you're doing the old. Cards down in Monday. So yeah, if you're doing something like that, obviously then you're going to be on the neck.
Yeah.
But a lot, you know, with the British Blues Explosion thing project I'm doing, you know, it's Peter Green, angry Peter Green.
Yeah.
He got in a lot of fist fights apparently around that time.
Angry Beano.
And angry Mr. Clapton.
Yeah.
Clappers, who was angry because he's.
Are you going to throw in a bit of lovely Paul Kossoff?
No, because he wasn't angry. He was too nice.
Oh yeah, but he did have a fantastic tension in his sound.
He did. Yeah, he was a beautiful player. But I'm going to go for that aggressive, angry. You know, not that I'm young.
Well, you're younger than me.
However,
way fucking younger than
no,
me.
not too. But I'm going for that young, angry sound because that's what is known as a British blueser.
Yeah.
So, with the JTM 45, which we'll hopefully we'll have in a couple of weeks' time.
Whoa! This is going to be a milestone because one of the promises attendant to this is I've never managed to get a sound out of a Marshall.
You haven't,
right?
Oh no, sorry. I've never seen you play it.
Well, I know because I avoid them because everyone I've played, I just find them hard and not at all organic. They don't.
This is the closest thing you've got to.
They don't play with me. Well, the output tone of it, but the feel of playing it is completely different. Every Marshall I've played has made the strings feel about 8 gauges heavier, right?
Right.
And I don't understand it. It might be me, the way I play, but so I'm really looking forward to a real deep guided tour of how to get a sound out of this. And your amp is basically a clone of an old Marshall.
It's a replica, so it's got the old tubes in it. It's got, you know...
It's an accurate replica.
It's got the GEC tubes,
yeah.
the 8066. It's got the Millard, the original Millard tubes in it. And it's got the original transformers, the mica caps, everything, you know, the mustard caps, you know, so, and then all the radio spares stuff in, you know. Actually, the head cap was made by Mr. Mantamp.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Mantamp, who's still going strong.
Absolutely.
I think it's a son. I think it's a son or something.
So is his surname Green?
Is it Graham?
Dave Green or something?
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember exactly.
Because the Mantamp thing and the orange thing and the high watt thing, they're all kind of interconnected, and they're all basically big British tube amps, usually cleaner than Marshalls.
Yeah, I've got a book at home on there's a great book on the Mantamp story.
I think I've got it.
Yeah, it's a smaller book.
Yeah, it's a little black book.
Yeah. And basically, in the first kind of chapter, they're saying he wanted to design very much a hi-fi amp.
Yeah.
And I think that was their thing, was being hi-fi and clean, and a hi-fi, beautiful, clean hi-fi sound, which would make sense because apparently the 3000 model or something was used on Albatross.
Okay.
Which you played rather well.
Although I do insist on playing it in a different key, don't I?
What key would that be?
Well, I play it in D just because I can accompany myself with drone strings, you know, but like, you know. I'm not surprised. That's a very clean.
Yeah, I think because I've told this story many times. When I was growing up, there was a Stevie Ray Vaughan clone. Not you. There was a Stevie Ray clone in every town in England.
Yeah.
And there's
sometimes feel like there still is. Certainly in every guitar shop.
But we're talking about the early 90s here, early 1990s. And in Devices, there was, of course, Jesse Davey and John Moore. Have you heard of Jesse Davey?
No.
John Moore. He has a pedal company called Jesse Davey. Anyway, I can't remember the pedals, but they're quite well known. Something Tone. But anyway, it's pretty well known pedals,
okay.
Yeah. And he was the best. In this, they had a band called The Hoax. Did you ever hear of them?
No.
Really good band. We're going to put a link in the description.
And they knocked out that brand of Texan blues.
Man, they were the best. And if you heard John Moore and Jesse Davey playing together, it was fantastic. It was like young kids on Jules Holland playing Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Right, okay.
When would that ever happen now?
Yeah.
It's never going to happen.
No, but it happens in every pub you go to.
It happens in every pub. But, and Ipswich, they had a guy, a good friend of mine, and Owen Barry was a young lad who's now playing with all these famous bands in America. Owen Barry, you know him?
No.
Owen Barry, great player.
I stopped listening to music in 1972. You said.
Matt Schofield.
I do remember him.
Matt
He's
Schofield.
one of my favourite guitarists.
Yeah, so he was a Stevie clone,
Right.
We all were in the 90s, and some of us were more successful than others, I'm not saying which category I was in. Some of us wore cowboy boots, but I didn't. Some of us wore cowboy boots, but I
That
didn't.
was obviously you missed out on the reason for success. It was the cowboy boot.
Yeah, and the Stetson hat. But my thing is, you can only wear a Stetson if you're from Texas. If you're not from Texas, you cannot wear a Stetson hat.
You do meet a lot of young lookalikes to this day.
Yeah.
Who affect the hat, and even some of the embroidery, if not the rhinestones of the shirts. They kind of go.
You can wear the shirt if you've got like trainers on and a Baker Boy hat or cap. That's fair enough. But if you've got the embroidery shirt, the Stetson hat, and the cowboy boots, you know what I mean. And you're from Dagenham or something.
Dagenham.
Yo, howdy, I'm playing some Texas blues.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I was guilty as charged, not of wearing the Stetson, but playing the Stevie Ray Vaughan. I wanted to be Stevie Ray Vaughan. I had the Strats, I had all the gizmos. I had the Vibroverb amp, I had the Super Reverb at some point. I had all the gizmos,
The unavoidable tube screamer.
Yes, I had every incarnation. And and I went down to the the ninth degree, trying to get his tone, and we all did it in the 90s. That's what we did.
There you go.
And but then I thought there was one day, and I thought, why am I trying to be from Texas? I'm not from Texas. I'm from Colchester, in Essex.
And they are some. For our international viewers, you'll find if you find them on the map, you'll find they are separated by some distance, and a common language.
Yes, and there's other things which we won't go into.
So anyway, keeping on the straight and narrow of the British blues, anything else to say about that before we go into a full match report about Cuba?
Yeah, so just like I think with the whole thing with the British blues is, what is a British blues? It's one Les Paul. Now this is called the Holy Grail. But that's another Holy Grail because a guitarist who played for Whiter Shalapel,
Robin Trower,
he played one of them. He started his career.
He played. It wasn't a gold top,
Wasn't it?
No, it was a mongrel. Actually, It was a mongrel. It was definitely a Les Paul with P90s, but it was a mongrel, and it ended up in Gary Moore's hands later.
Right.
That's right. I was just looking at it by coincidence on the web just yesterday.
Okay.
A strange-looking guitar.
Yeah.
And a trapeze tail.
I thought it was like a 52.
But it was a modded 52. Because remember, 52s were a problem because of the shallow neck angle and the awful bridge with the strings that went underneath.
Yeah. So you had to come to.
So they kind of did. It was a bit of a conversion.
Right.
And it also, I think, it had some kind of browny red sunburst.
Yeah, it was a weird.
It was a strange guitar.
I think it was red at some point as well.
I think it could have been. So that was the first Trower guitar. And then Trower got. Certainly, some of his time in Procol, he had a burst.
But here's the thing: the British guys just played these because this is before pedals. And even in the 70s, when there were pedals, they still had this thing with the whole British sound really is in a Marshall amp or a Vox or Marshall, and then a Les Paul and one cable.
And
that's it.
Maybe a booster.
Maybe a booster, but you're getting all the sounds
all
from your volume.
tone and volume. Yeah, you're right.
And that's really where the sound of British blues comes from.
And big amps, basically stacks.
Yeah.
You know, so you're also getting a lot of
stacks with weak speakers.
Weak speakers,
Yeah.
but you know, a 4x12, it's got a bass thump to it. Two 4x12s, bit hefty. Les Paul, especially with humbuckers, pretty thumpy.
And that went right up to
and before PAs, you are projecting out into that audience. No microphones.
And that went right up until bands that you grew up with, like Green Giant.
Gentle Giant.
Gentle Giant, I always get this wrong, sorry. Gentle Giant, where you're getting into progressive rock, but you've still got these British guitar players influenced by obviously Clapton and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
And they're still rocking the Les Paul and the Marshall.
But on that note, I was thrilled. About 3 or 4 issues ago, Guitarist magazine had a page feature on Gary Green, who was the Gentle Giant guitarist.
Right.
And it warmed my heart because no one ever talks about him anymore. And if you listen back to particularly the first and third Gentle Giant albums, it's strange because there are actually 2 bands playing at once. There's the drummer and Gary Green, the guitarist, who go off on one, and it's Rocky Blues. And then you've got the 2 or 3 brothers, Shulman and Kinnear, who are multi-instrumental prodigies, playing all this very exquisite, you know, keyboard and string and wind stuff. They can all play about 6 instruments each. It's incredible. But it's almost in parts like, sometimes it isn't the whole band playing together. It's like the three in the band play one thing, and then the drum and the guitarist come out for a bit of a leg stretch.
But then there was immensely creative rock bands. You know, Gary Moore was in Colosseum 2, wasn't he?
And Dave Clemson in Colosseum 1 beforehand,
And there was immensely...
And Jimmy Litherland before that.
Yeah, and then you had obviously Genesis and all these bands, and Yes, and you had these... But a lot of these players were going back to the Les Paul and the Marshall. That is a British sound. So that's where I really I had an epiphany. You know, if you're British, you know, you're born on these...
So it all came. So Keith Richard is documented as probably the first bloke to bring one of these into the UK, or buy one of these in the UK from somewhere, and make it famous. And it was this shining, gleaming Les Paul. That was the one that really brought them to the attention of all the people who were a little bit younger, in Surrey, and they all wanted a bit of that. And that's what kicked the whole thing off in Britain. And then what happened is those guys took the Americans' music, the blues music, and they...
But here's the deal. They made the British version of it.
Overdrove it.
So
with Marshall amps.
So here's the thing. You know, for me, because you know, they're obviously copying these great bluesmen from Chicago who were born in Mississippi, went up to Chicago where the work was, where the money was, playing for
overdriven, probably tweed amp. Probably a bassman if you're lucky.
They started all off on acoustic guitars in Mississippi, went to Chicago on electric stuff. But, however, it's, you know, they've developed this incredible style. You know, come to England, we haven't come from Mississippi to Chicago.
No, we haven't.
But we've had.
Well, and by the way, the American music, apart from in a few clubs, dying on its hind feet, right? Dying on hind feet, and along come this bunch of unlikely lower middle class white boys, mainly from Surrey.
But they did their version,
and then that got back on the shoulders of pop, the Rolling Stones pop thing, right? And the Yardbirds, right? Carried back on the winds to America, and the Americans were mad for it. We were serving up the British version of the traditional music.
So fast forward to 2025, and there's 2 elderly gents sitting talking about all this stuff, crazy stuff.
Back in that day, that crucial day, so you're probably talking about 65, 66. The only person that comes to mind quickly who was doing anything American with blues in America was Mike Bloomfield.
He was,
right. There is, I forget the name. There's one other. But there's more of them doing it over here in South London.
But you know what?
It's an extraordinary story.
But here in 2025, you get young kids going, "I'm a blues guitar player. I'm a blues guitar." I'm not a blues guitar player. I'm a British blues guitar player because I can't play like those Chicago players play. I can't play like B.B. King because I haven't got his life story.
Which is a bit important.
Yeah, I can't play like Muddy Waters. I can't play like John Hickox. I can't play like any of those guys because they've got that experience. We don't have that. We have our British experience. So,
well, you know,
so I'm more comfortable saying I play British blues.
And it's a great distinction. And
Yeah.
I mean, the word privilege gets bandied around a lot these days. But let's be frank. Somebody like me, compared to those guys, has had a charmed life compared to the pain and suffering they would have endured as routine, right? And that's what informs that music.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so I affect the blues playing, and I'm all right at it. But I'm not a blues musician. You can't be.
Well, you play British blues.
I do.
And I think that it's not only a get out in a way, but it also means that we play this style,
Yeah.
which I'm more comfortable with.
Hats off for a second. The other day, I chanced on my Instagram. I chanced on our friend James Oliver.
Oh, he's great, yeah.
Right, and another thing he'd done. Now, we on previous videos we told you he works 495 days a year.
He gigs more than Sting.
Right, unbelievable. Right, incredible.
Yeah.
But this video, Jesus, has his playing come on even more. It's terrifying. He's playing Telecaster like an American, like the great American players. All the tricks on this primitive old plank of wood, and he's doing it. It's incredible.
He plays with the great legends of the telly in America.
He's earned his place.
Oh, absolutely. He's playing with Norman Ray on bass.
Is he really?
Yeah, from
Well,
Dr. Feelgood.
who is heavyweight.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
So,
Ian Dury.
Yeah.
And the greatest show on earth on Harvest Records, if you can be that anal.
There you go. So check out James Oliver. We're always a big fan of
He's incredible.
James Oliver, not Jamie Oliver, who is a chef.
Who
Naked chef.
calls himself a chef.
Yeah.
This James Oliver, he's he was a good player last
He's
time
a chef
I met him.
He's a chef of the telly.
His playing, last 2 years,
Yeah.
has just gone. He is a world-class great Telecaster player, and that is about the greatest thing you can say about a guitarist.
And you know what I admire about him is he didn't get feared off playing blues or this or heavy metal, or he just stayed on this one kind of this rockabilly Telecaster thing and just stayed. And that's when you focus on one thing like that. It's sometimes the best way to do it.
Tremendous player.
Yeah.
Tremendous player. By the way, there is one little thing. We're probably going to have this video down. It's getting a bit boring, but there's one other component.
Yeah.
Very parochial, but this is a guitar channel, right? Strings.
Bring it on, baby.
Right.
Bring
So
it on.
not only did all these guys who came up in Mississippi come up with acoustic guitars with actions about 4 feet high,
Yes.
and strings like bits of old rope, slightly chewed by rats, right?
Yeah.
But when they were playing, remember, when these guitars were made, the average string gauge was something like 14 on top,
Yes.
and about 60 on the bottom, right? So these guitars did not yield to bending. In fact, they hardly yielded to fretting. To this day, jazz guitar players will tend to play thicker strings, quite often flat wound, but they'll have actions about a micron above the neck.
Yes.
Right, and of course they can get away with it because they roll the tone back, so you can't hear the strings choking and splashing.
And actually, I play in a jazz guitar duo. The duo partner, he plays 16s.
Right.
But the guitar's super easy to play because the action's low. You
Action's
don't,
very low.
bend strings. You might do a half bend.
So when these guitars were built, right, these strings didn't exist. The first time I heard about lighter strings being used was the Clapton story about putting a banjo string on the top and moving the first to fifth string across to sit on the second to sixth, right? Yeah. And that's how he got that lightness that meant that he could do all those bends and stuff, and that caught on pretty quickly. And then in about
Were
60...
they called Essex strings?
Essex was one brand.
I think he used Essex. We're back to Essex. So
But by kind of 68, 69, you had brands like Piccato coming up with really light strings, string gauges, which is how all of us nippers learned to play without fighting the guitar. But the strings were a really important part of the British blues. Because bending is a really important part of British blues.
And here, guys, I'm going to give you a tip, guys, if you want to play British blues. The best strings I've found for playing British blues, I mean, I play 11s just because they've got sausage fingers and they're pretty useless. But the best brand are Pyramid, because they are constructed, like a lot of these modern brands use modern, coatings and that. But the Pyramid, if you want to feel like what they were feeling in the 60s, Pyramid strings.
So Pyramid strings, when I've played them, they feel slightly harder, right, than most other brands of string. Now I'm going to parry that. There's a new brand of strings, well, newish, coming out of Nashville called String Joy, right? And I found a set at some guitar show I went to. I took them home, stuck them on the Cabronita. They're really good.
Slanky?
They come in all kinds of gauges. Their gauges are slightly weird.
What is the gauge on this?
That's 10.5 to 49.
That sounds like a PRS brand.
Well, it's a 9.5 is the PRS gauge, right?
Yeah.
10.5 is its bastard offshoot from D'Addario, and
okay.
I'm basically on my way to trying to be a grown man and playing 11s.
Good man.
These are 10s. That's 10.5s, and they've been on that guitar for yonks.
I think they really
and it
well.
plays like
I would
butter.
leave them. I would leave them.
I will, and also that's with the disadvantage of both of these. Well, no, this is a refret, and so the frets are narrow but higher. Those are original, and those frets are not the easiest to play. I'm on my way to 11s. I don't know if I'll get there. It doesn't matter. It's a macho thing.
Can I give a shout out to Owen Barry? So Owen Barry, check him out. You need to check him out. He's a wonderful guitar player. But he's now, I've noticed, I actually asked him on Instagram the other day, he's making these new PAF pickups, and he's trying to get as close to these ones as possible.
So we've done a show in the past about Ramon's putting the Alan Dingwall Peter Green set on his guitar, which I've been really, really impressed with. Right, that middle position, he's got it nailed. But I do feel the one thing about all these Peter Green sets is that to get that fabulous middle position, which this guitar doesn't do because they're not out of phase, but the one thing about all these zeroing in on the Peter Green sound pickups is the middle position. These guys are really getting very warm indeed. But there's a sacrifice in the individual positions. So it's not a bad sacrifice. They're still bloody good pickups. So they're getting really close, but they're still on the way.
So that's why I'm very interested in knowing Barry to see if he can get it. And you know, Aaron's got a great ear, and he's making these great boost pedals and fuzz pedals. Check him out, Owen Barry, on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
Owen Barry, and also for Rob, you should check him out as well. He's great. He's a great lad. And maybe we can get him here when he next comes to, because he lives in Nashville. But when he next comes to England, we'll get him here.
Okay.
He's an Essex lad.
I tell you, the guy I'd love to get in here. He only comes to England once a year to visit family. But the guy who makes Kingsley pedals.
Oh yeah, well he's a friend of Brian's.
Right. Because he's English. He's based in America, I think, on the West Coast. He makes wonderful pedals.
The guy's a genius.
And also, he's a fantastic guitar player.
He is a very good guitar.
I'd love to get to sandwich him in between us and give him a Bob Ramon duffing up.
It would really.
I really would. Now, we've got other stuff to talk about. We've got two more things to talk about.
Let's say goodbye and then we can say hello.
Well, okay, we'll say goodbye as in pause.
Goodbye, my dear fellow.
Pause button.
Yeah.
And we're off for now, and we'll be back momentarily. But that's part one. Part two upcoming.